What's up everybody, my name is Light and welcome to the 4th episode in our Let's Build a Village series. If you're new to the series, be sure to check out the other 3 episodes that I have out now on my channel. But in this video, we're going to be focusing on building a giant tavern for our villagers, as well as a marketplace and of course, some more housing. Alright, so first I got to work on terraforming this hill that the tavern is going to sit on. I added a fence to border the path that would go up to the tavern, as well as adding some custom trees. I planned out the foundation for the building, and I figured that travelers would need a place to keep their horses at while they stayed inside the tavern, so I built a small stable on the exterior wall of the tavern. After that, I detailed the facade of the tavern just a bit more, and then I went inside to the ground floor and I began decorating the interior of the building. I basically just added a kitchen, some fireplaces, some tables and chairs, and I also built this really cool small grandfather clock design that I'm pretty happy with. I added a roof to the tavern and then built 2 chimneys coming out of the top. I knew that I wanted to add more to this tavern to make it more detailed and more unique for our village, but honestly I was a bit stumped on just how to do that, and I fixed up the chimney and added another fence to border some flowers along the path. Sometimes I just need to step away from a build before I can figure out how I want to finish it, so in the meantime I came back outside of the tavern. I went back to the center of our village. I terraformed the hills inside the village a bit more to accommodate some space for a marketplace. I built up a bit of the towers and then I went back to the tavern once I had an idea of how I could add some more floors just to make the roof a bit more interesting to look at. But even after that, the tavern is still not done, and I'll be coming back later in the video to change its design up just a little bit more before we can call it finished. We're doing a lot of jumping back and forth, but that's just kind of how my mind works when I'm building in Minecraft. So we're coming back to the marketplace and I'm building up the walls of all of the buildings just a little bit more. I want the marketplace to feel kind of cozy and central to the village, but also very cluttered and dynamic, with a lot of different angles for all of the builds. I think this is a really effective use of the space that we have, because it's going to make our marketplace feel very vibrant, and that's what makes builds in Minecraft come to life. That's how you make a space feel actually real. After I had the actual builds for some of these markets down, I finished building up the towers with some bricks, polished granite, and terracotta. I wanted these towers to kind of serve as an indicator for the borders of the marketplace. Because there are just so many towers and they're all at differing elevations, there are a lot of point of views throughout the village where you're going to be able to look up and see exactly where the market is at all times. I also connected some of the towers with some bridges to really tie the area in together and make it feel a lot more connected. I was going to add a well under this custom tree, but I eventually moved it out to the center of the marketplace just because it made a bit more sense being in the center of the path for villagers to collect water from. Using a variety of dark oak blocks, deep slate walls, and some different colored wool, I came up with this design for some tarps to indicate some outdoor markets outside of the buildings that we made. I also created a custom tree. I wanted this tree to act as a canopy and kind of cover up this area, making it feel very close-knit and also cluttered, in a good way of course, to add some vibrancy to our village. After that inside area was done, I went back outside to the buildings and I added some windows and facades. After that, it was time to plan out the next portion of the marketplace. This area is actually going to be huge, and it really takes up a large portion of our village. It basically takes up this entire hill in the center of our village. I did this because I wanted the marketplace to feel very central and easy to access for all of our villagers. After I marked out the plan for the second half, I used World Edit to copy and paste some more custom trees around the area. And then it was time to go in and build up the plans that I had for these buildings. Just as I had done previously with the buildings in the marketplace, I used a mixture of stone bricks, tuff, sandstone, and birch. And of course, I kept prismarine and copper as the roof for all of these buildings. And then it was time to go in with some more tarps and add some more market stalls on the exterior of these buildings. I wanted to keep the marketplace stalls from being too confined to a small palette of colors, so I was sure to mix up the green and the blue with some warmer colors like magenta and orange and red. I really love how these tarps are coming out. They add a lot of color to this marketplace and they make it feel much more vibrant. Detailing all of the shops in this marketplace took a ridiculous amount of time. I really love adding detail to my builds, but this was just straight up overkill. Like, I put chairs and tables and pots basically everywhere you can put your eyes on. Once those buildings were up, I went back in and I added in some windows and some doors to make all of these buildings accessible, and I also worked on adding some more detail to the pathways and all of the market stalls. As I was detailing out the marketplace, I actually updated my Minecraft client to 1.20. That meant that I had access to all of the new decorative pots, as well as the trimmed armor. I used these new tools to go around the market and update the designs I had already put in. This basically just meant adding more pots with decorations everywhere, as well as updating armor stands to incorporate the new armor trims. I used a combination of orange and magenta wool and banners to make some hanging banners between the towers for your eyes to catch as you're walking through the marketplace. And after that, I went back to the tavern once again to change the color of the chimney just so it matches the towers of our village. I think using bricks and terracotta in the tavern really makes it feel more cohesive and like it's an actual part of our village. I also finished up the tavern's design by adding some flower pots under some of the windows. And now with the tavern complete, I came back to the market one last time to finish adding the last houses that I wanted to build there. I wanted these houses to be very close to the market, and I imagine that families of the merchants that work in the marketplace actually live in these houses within the same space. And once those houses were done, I went back around the marketplace and added some more hanging banners everywhere for your eyes to catch as you're walking through the space. And once the market was done, I was looking around the entirety of our village, and I realized that I wanted our tavern to feel a bit more central and focused to the center of the village. In order to fix this, I used World Edit to add more terrain outside of the tavern and interconnect some paths wrapping around the entire building. The spot where you see those paths intersect and kind of reach out towards the ocean is actually where I eventually plan to build a bridge that will act as an entrance to the village from the other side of the ocean. but we are not going to be building that today. That is for a future video. Anyways, I came back into the village one more time to add a little spot for some traveling carts, and I imagine that traders and merchants come into this area, they set up their shop here outside of the tavern, and they stay for maybe a day or two before traveling elsewhere. And with that, our market, tavern, and this section of the village is now complete. I am really loving how this market has turned out. All of the color of the banners and the detail on all of the stalls come together to make this space feel truly alive, and I love it. It is so awesome to walk through here and just see what details your eye will get catched on. Like I've said in previous videos, once our village is complete, I am going to be releasing this world for all of you to download and explore for yourselves. The next video will most likely be the finale for this series, which means that I'll be releasing my Patreon most likely next video, for all of you to support me and through that, download this world and explore it for yourselves. So if you're interested in doing that, be sure to subscribe and stay tuned for when I publish that video. By the way, we just hit 1,800 subscribers. That's 1,800 of you that have subscribed to my channel. Honestly, I find that insane, and I thank you all so much for supporting me and my content. I really love doing this, and I just appreciate all of you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate if you left a like on it. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see all of you in the next video.